Podcast, your source for livestock market insights, management strategies, and real conversations with those who don't just work in the cattle industry, they live it. Here are your hosts, Ty deCordova and Casey Mabry.
Well, welcome here to live in Boise, Idaho, to the We Live It podcast here. We have a little over 21,000 cattle to offer today. I'm joined here today by I guess he's going to be the new co-host/intern/
coffee getter,
something like that. Yeah. A little bit thinner, a little bit taller than his counterpart. But Casey couldn't join us today, so we have Wade Perks with Blue Reef, and then also we have Logan Ipsen with Western Livestock Journal, WLJ, headquartered out of Denver. Going to talk a little bit about the industry affairs and what they do in the industry as far as getting your names out there and advertising your sales and such. But first of all, Logan, we go back quite a bit. Friendship, we've known each other quite a while. You got something coming up in 2 weeks with the kiddos that we like to talk a lot about. And as Casey goes through, we talk a lot about his kids showing pigs and stuff. And your daughter and son, is your son showing yet? Is he not yet? He's not old enough.
No, we got two that are showing. My two oldest daughters, so one's 13, one's 9. So we got a first year 4-H, and my daughter last year won the steer show and won showmanship. So she's got a little bar that she needs to reach again. So there's a lot of pressure at home right now. But in doing that, we're juggling sports, and we're juggling dance, we're juggling these county fair steers. But then we go right into school, and summer's almost over. So here we are.
Yeah, that school's right around the corner, and my girls are dreading it. They've been in the show barn and the pool and just kind of living a dream. I call home every morning after I get to work, and I say, "What y'all doing?" They're just living their best life, just laying around. How does that, with our busy schedule that we all have, it's awesome to see us able to spend that kind of time with our kids and to grow them up in the industry, whether it's showing steers or showing heifers or pigs or whatever, but they're in the agriculture industry and they seem to love it.
Yeah, so it's one of my proudest moments is when my daughter told me that she wants to be an ag lawyer because she wants to be able to keep ranches and ranching families. And that is kind of set you back because then you're starting to realize and I'm not going to take any credit because my wife is the one she's the driver and my girls look up to her. They've got a great role model. But I mean, you can say this, you're probably in a stage of life, you're chasing things you didn't think you would chase when you had kids, and that's where we're at. I didn't think I would love softball so much, but watching them succeed, and that's the thing is you see them develop a passion, you see them develop something that they want to succeed in. And all our job as parents is to open the door. And so here we are going to practices and tournaments and trying to do all the juggle, but it's worth it. You know that. You
picture me as a tennis dad?
I didn't see that coming, but
in the skirt,
I got one.
Yeah.
But they don't. They kind of frown. My oldest daughter, she kind of frowns upon that if I show up in that skirt. But I told her if y'all can wear that kind of stuff, I think I can too.
Right. Just
so they don't wear it. So, but I just shaved them from the knee down. So.
As girl dads, we've all had our nails painted a time or two.
Oh man,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, last week, and I'm not gonna get it. Never mind. People I'll start getting phone calls, but no, it's just this is what I love about all of it. It's all a family deal. It's family oriented. It's relationship based. It's all of that. So, and it's good to hear other people talk about their kids too, because we hold them up at such high regard. So, let's kind of dive into what is WLJ. You want to kind of give us a brief how you got there, where you been, all that.
Yeah, so my story, I started with the American Angus Association in the spring of 2007. I was with them 5 years. And I started looking around to see, okay, what is my next step? And if I would have taken a promotion with the association, I'd had to move to Missouri. And my heart and soul is in the western U.S. I grew up in southeast Idaho on a registered Hereford and Angus operation. And so I just never saw myself moving, towards the east, even though I know there's so much industry there. But my heart's out here. And so I started looking around, and the Western Livestock Journal kind of fit that mold because it's more commercially cattle driven. I love working the sales, working the auctions. And this just kind of developed right into what I felt was my passion. And so in 2012, right before my first daughter was born, we decided to make a transition. So my predecessor, a guy named Jerry York, was a legend in our business. He was getting ready to kind of slow down. So he split his territory in half, and I came on board with Western Livestock Journal. was with them 10 years. So in that 3-year process, Jerry fully retired. I took over the 6 Western states, started building my business. And the biggest driver why I wanted to do that was it's 100% commission driven for our field reps. And I wanted to know at that point if I had what it takes. I wanted to know if I could succeed at just being on my own. Obviously backed by a company that's been there for over 100 years now. It's a little side story, which I'm pretty proud of. That in 1922, it started with a $5,000 loan from the LA stockyards. And so when you start going over the history of WLJ, it survived so many different things. And so now that here we are in 2025, and it's like there's a little bit of pressure there because it's like you don't want it to fail under my leadership, but it's the first time that's not in the Crow family, and so we're all kind of driven. And I kind of see there's kind of a likeness to what Live Ag is doing compared to what WLJ is doing, because we've gotten a lot younger in our staff, but we're all kind of driven. We all want to make this thing succeed, and I see that with you guys too. Like it's kind of a younger staff, but everybody's driving for something. You want to hold on to something and make it successful. And this is our legacy and this is our opportunity. And I think that's where I see what you guys are doing. I'm pretty proud of what I've told you that. I've told Jason that. Told a lot of your team that. I'm proud of what you guys are doing because you're not afraid of it. And I think that's where with Western Livestock Journal, it's kind of the same way. Like we see that there's this thing here, but we want to make it bigger. We want to make it more successful. And so we want to prove to the industry that we're worthwhile. But in where we're at now, about 3 years ago, we went through a transition. So National Livestock out of Oklahoma City purchased WLJ. And in that, I transitioned into the role of president, and which has been great, but it's had its challenges, as you're probably seeing from a leadership role. Every day is not perfect. No. And so you go through those bumps where you're starting to figure out, because when you take over something like that, everybody's been sitting on these ideas, and you're like, it's time to go. We want to go out there, and all these ideas we've been sitting on, we want them to go, and we want them to just charge right into it. But if you let the horses run, they're going to tire out. And so you have to be careful on how you do that. And so, you want to have controlled growth and control the culture, but you also want to be supportive. You want to make sure that everybody's appreciated. You want to make sure everybody's respected. And that's, I think, the key to all relationships in life too. And so that's where we're at now. It's been a lot of fun to see how people have developed. They've taken on ideas. They've taken on different roles. And I think where we're at now is in a really good spot where we're just continuing to grow slowly.
So kind of identify your team a little bit. Who you got out there, where they're at, what regions they have.
Yeah, so the traditional model of a publication is that, and I'll start with our fieldmen. So if a lot of our business is built around auctions, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people recognize us working the ring at a lot of these sales in the different parts of the territories. And so the model says that if somebody's having an auction, they can call one of our fieldmen, and they'll help them develop a campaign, because we're doing not just the weekly publication, but now we have a full digital line of products. So whether it's Google or social media or whatever they want to do, we can help them advertise and reach the right audience. And I think that's the interesting thing in the business that we have now, is because it's not just the traditional, printing a publication and sending it to people. We have to essentially take the advertising and put it in front of the people, whether that's through a digital place or through a print publication. And so our fieldmen are able to say, okay, what's going to be the best? What's our initiative? What's our end goal? And what's the product that we have to sell? And we're going to try to put that product in front of the right people. So you might not all see all the advertising in the publication, but you're going to see it in different avenues. But that's what, kind of going back to that model, is through advertising dollars, is then the customer service of that is the guy showing up and working the sales. So the advertising dollars are paying for that service on sale day. Once the ads are sold, then it goes into our production team. And so we've got ad designers and a production team that, like Kirby Brinesfeld is our production and office manager. Hannah Jackson does all the social media. We got Mike and Tristan that do all the day-to-day stuff and building the publications and the websites and so forth. But I guess I want to kind of harp on just for a quick second is that a publication doesn't go if it doesn't have the right editorial. You have to have people that want to read the information that's in between the pages. And we have a really, really neat editorial staff. And it's small, but they have a big network. And so Anna Miller, who just got married, and Charlie Wallace, and they do a great job. They pull in a lot of relevant information that is pertaining to our Western readership. And so there's 12 of us on staff total, and it's one of those things that everybody's kind of driven. I'm not a micromanager. they just do what they're supposed to do, and everybody kind of gets to get, everybody does get along. But it works. And I think that's the one thing as things have settled down through this transition, everybody's kind of filled into their roles. I think that's what I appreciate the most, is everybody just got their head down and working.
You got a famous football star too that works for y'all, don't you? I mean, I couldn't go with this whole day without mentioning the football player that works for y'all.
He's a legend.
Yes.
He's a legend. But I would say they're all legends. So in terms of our field staff, we've got a great team. So out here in the far west is Jared Patterson. He comes from Declo, Idaho. And then in Colorado, we got a guy named Ty Groshans, who I actually, believe it or not, he interviewed me. He'd been at the job at American Angus Association for like 6 months. And when I went out there and interviewed to get the first job out of college, which I didn't think I was qualified for, I was totally spun out. And I got into Ty's office that day, and he looked at me and goes, "I've only been here 6 months. Don't worry about it. Just sit down." So it was a great opportunity. Ty and I have been friends ever since. And then in Montana, we actually just went through his transition. So Devin Mernon had been with us for almost 10 years. And had a great opportunity he's now at LMA, and I just want to kind of shout out to what his leadership and what he did for WLJ through the transition and building the territory up there. His little brother, Kevin Mernon, just joined us. And so as they kind of went through a transition there, and Kevin's going to do wonderful things for us, and I think the world of that whole family, but really excited for Kevin to do, fill in his older brother's shoes, but then kind of make it his own territory, and excited for that.
You talk about your team and you've got all your field reps out there, and to be a field rep and you're not micromanaging, you're in charge of your own destiny. Like you said, if it's a commission job, you got to want to go out there and go get it. So I didn't know this about your guys. So you're helping your customers build a marketing plan. You're engaged. You're not just calling them up going, "Hey, can I get an ad? I'll show up to your sale." So what's the relationship there like with your customers?
I think you said the word perfectly. It's relationships, and I think, and I don't want to sound negative, but I think in this day and age, loyalty is a hard word to come by, because everybody has their own situations, and all these different ranches, all these different programs, they have business decisions that they have to make, and sometimes that gets in the way of the personal relationships. And I'll be upfront. One of the hardest things that I had to do in my role is to give up some of the relationships and the accounts to Jared. And I think it didn't really strain us, because I, picked somebody that I knew could do a better job than I did. But at the same time, it's still hard. These are not
Those are your guys.
Accounts. They're friends now, right? I've had relationships with these people for years. And, just step back and say, okay, in order for Jared to be successful, I need to get out of his way. And that's a hard thing to do. I mean, if you've ever done it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But you have to trust that your people are going to do it, and they're going to handle those relationships. And so that's where, as our fieldmen travel, they have to earn the trust, and that's where the relationships come from. And so, as we go up and down the road, as these accounts are calling onto our fieldmen, if they don't trust them and listen to their guidance, then you're kind of spinning your wheels. But we want to really be a part of the transactional process for everybody. So we kind of step back and say, okay, we're here at the bull sale, so we see what these commercial ranchers are spending on bulls. What kind of bull are they buying? What direction are they taking their program? Who are they buying bulls from? And then through our relationships with the video companies, then we're able to be on that part of the transaction. And so now we're able to kind of make a comment on where they get their bulls from, the genetic purchases. And so we're involved in multiple transactions with these people. And so when you're involved in that, the relationship deepens, because there's now, their livelihood is involved. And so that's where I think we become pretty valuable to that equation, so that when they call, they say, okay, well, let's do this. Let's move some ad dollars from print over to digital, or from digital back over to print, and let's take this product and put it here.
What was that like to go from a print public, or obviously you'll always have the print publication, but to bring in the digital piece of that? Was it controversial? Was it hard to do? How do you evolve?
Well, I think if you don't evolve, you're going to get lost. You're going to get left behind. Yeah.
Any pushback from the older folks? or not even necessarily not the profile or older folks, younger folks, but
I think there's an education that comes along with it. You know, I think our accounts want to know. What we've found is that they know they need to do something digital, but they don't know how to do something digital, and so, you know, it's hard when you place your advertising dollars in a print publication. You flip that print publication open and you see your ad, you see your advertisements. When you do digital, you don't necessarily always see your ad.
Yeah, because you're not targeting them.
And if you're doing it right, you don't see your ad.
You never should see it.
You know, one of the hardest things that I had to wrap my head around when we started getting into the digital world is, like, in the print publication, like, you think the name is the most important thing. In the digital side, the name's irrelevant. They want your IP address and they want to know where you've been on the internet. What kind of purchases have you made? What product are you searching? That's when those ads go in front of those people. So I really struggled with that. I mean, for months, like, what do you mean the name doesn't matter? The name's irrelevant.
Right, it's supposed to be in big print across the top of that.
Your numbers, yeah. And that's all. And your address, great, but they want your, basically, you know, what you're searching for, what are you buying, what is your spending pattern, and then all of a sudden these and it's kind of Big Brother stuff, but there's so many things you can do. It's scary for a lot of our industry because as a group we're kind of more like scared of the Big Brother thing or the anti-government kind of thing. But when you start diving into it, and I think that's where the role of our fieldmen is to educate that it's not necessarily that. It's, okay, if you're interested in Angus bulls that have, you know, certain pedigrees or certain numbers or certain EPDs, and you're searching that, if we have a customer that has that product, we need to be able to put that product in front of that customer.
Right. We could sit here all day and just, I love the visit and I love the conversation. I love what you guys are doing. How do they find you? How do they reach out to you? Who do they talk to? Do they go to the website? Do they email you guys direct? Do they call? What's the best route to find you?
The easiest way to find us is going to our website at wlj.net. And all our contact information's on there. You can see news, all the latest information that's on there. Sell reports, our sell calendar. You'll be able to see where we're going to be at. So wlj.net. Go to the contact us, and you'll see all our fieldmen, our salesmen, or our office staff. And
at least one of y'all, or maybe several of y'all, do a write-up every week, or is it once a month, or every week, or how does that work?
Yep. So we are a weekly publication, and if they want it digitally right now, we're offering it for free, so they can go on there and subscribe to that. It just gets them more access to all the sell reports and all the information. If they want the print publication, then there's a subscription charge to that, which they can sign up for. But yeah, that's going to be the best way. All our information is on that website if they want to reach out to us. And then obviously we're on social media as well, in Western Livestock Journal.
Well, cool. Logan, thank you. Appreciate you being on here today. Thank you for filling in for Casey since he abandoned us at the last minute and made you fly all the way out here. So,
well, and I know we were supposed to have CJ on, but we don't have time for him today. So I guess we'll get to him next time.
We're going to, exactly. I don't know if we're going to do him at all.
I had one more quick question for Logan. Yeah. Put you back in your territory. You got to go eat at one restaurant. Where are you going to go eat?
One place?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can tell you one place. Well, since we're in Boise, Idaho, and we were talking about it just before we went live here, Ty, you went to Barbacoa last night, the Hot Rock Filet.
Atmosphere.
I've got to go.
The atmosphere.
Cool. They open the doors up in the back, and you're sitting. It's phenomenal.
Yep. Boise, Idaho, Barbacoa.
And the staff, the service is unbelievable. Top notch.
Okay.
Top notch.
I was curious.
You always got to talk about eating. He got to tell us.
Catch up.
Well, you got to catch up with Casey, so he needs to go get a lot. His old average daily gain. He don't convert very well. We don't.
Hard doer.
I don't know if we'd feed him very long. No. So thank everybody for joining us here on the We Live It podcast. We have a start time of 9 a.m. Mountain Time. We sell a little over 21,000 cattle from all across the U.S. Please join us at live-ag.com. You can go in there and bid and buy online, or you can call us on our landline, and we are live today on the Cowgirls channel on Dish Network. So tune in, watch. Appreciate everybody out there. Thank y'all for hitting that subscribe and like button, as Katie likes to say so much. If you got any questions or want to reach out, it's katie@live-ag.com. Just send her an email. If you want to be on or want to be part of anything we're doing here, just look us up on the website, live-ag.com. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. God bless.